Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and we are live, ladies and gentlemen, live on Neeves Knives. How's everybody doing? Aaron, I seen the message you left here. I didn't see your message on Instagram. I'll have to check it out after the show. It says it was a message on the website, Jared. I sent a message to it, and someone responded. Is there any way to get you to sharpen two for me? No, I don't. I'm not running a sharpening service at the moment. But I can link you up with somebody. There's somebody in here that'll help you out. Kyle can help you out. Lacey can help you out. There's a bunch of sharpeners in the community that can take care of you if you're looking for some sharpening. But no, I shut down the sharpening service. I just couldn't keep up. I couldn't keep up with it, and I couldn't get people's knives back in a timely manner because, you know, I was just so busy. It's difficult for me to do that and the channel at the same time. At one time, it worked out really good, and it was a great, you know, it worked out really well doing both. But, you know, the more I've devoted to the channel, it just takes too much time. What's the best? What are you guys talking about? Sorry, I'm distracted. I'm trying to settle an argument with some of my guys. So I do want to talk about the best knives that you can buy. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about some of the worst knives that you can buy, which I think is a good thing to know, and sometimes an even better thing to know, because there are so many damn good knives out there, you know, regardless of like the category you're looking for, which we're also going to talk about that, you know, different categories. But if you know the stuff to avoid and stay away from, then at least you'll have a good indicator of what is good, or at least has the potential. It was on the website, Jared. I sent a message to it and someone responded. Is there any way to get you to sharpen two for me? Who's the ugliest sharpener in the whole universe? Kyle, for sure. Okay, so we're gonna let people get in here before we really start the show. I do want to talk about a few other little things. You guys know I've been doing the vertical lives. I almost did the vertical live on this one. I'm not sure how you guys would feel about it. I know you guys are used to it going this way, but we might do a vertical live pretty soon where it winds up in a different feed, and that's why they get so many views. Like compared to these, like these, you know, get a few thousand views. Those get like 40,000 views. So it is a massive difference. But you know, we'll see. But I do want to do that because I have been doing that recently. It's been doing really good. Hello, mother. How are you doing? Hopefully everything is going well for you. But I do want to talk about some of these knives and, you know, some of the categories that you might go through, you know, that the majority of people kind of look for, right? Everybody knows about like an EDC knife, just like an everyday carry pocket knife. But everybody kind of lives a different lifestyle. You know, some people are going to be a little bit harder on their knives, and some people might be actually looking for a hard use knife. Some people might be looking for something that's going to assist them in hunting and fishing, you know, camping. You know, some people might do better with a fixed blade. Some people are going to be really, you know, just beating on their knives where it's like they don't want to spend a lot on a knife. They have a good chance of breaking it, losing it, chipping it, you know, whatever. So they're not trying to spend a ton of money on the knife. They want to just get the best bang for their buck for a knife that can get lost. And that does it does boil down to that too, like the best bang for your buck. Like what can you get for the most you can get for your money? Like what is that? Because there's a lot of companies doing it really well. And you know, obviously there's different budgets, so depending on your budget, but regardless what your budget is, it's nice to know what is the best knives you can get in that price range, whether it's $50, $75, $100, or even higher. I tend to lean towards specific companies in certain price brackets, and a lot of you guys know that. You know, like if we're gonna go for the under $50, right? Under $50, I'm pretty much going to recommend Send Cut every day of the week. There are some other ones like Migron has some great stuff. I think like right there in the $45 to $60 range. KUBEY has some great stuff in the $35 to $65 range. But Sencut, all in all, I think is still the better company out of all of them. I think they are doing the most consistent work, the best job, the best geometry, the best pretty much everything across the board. Not saying that those other companies aren't doing a good job, but they're not doing as good a job as Sencut. Sencut is, in my opinion, is the ultimate budget knife under $50. Now, once you get above $50, that's where it starts getting, you know, crazy, because there are so many companies, and technically there's still a lot of companies under 50 bucks too. Like we can talk about Ganzo, Sativian, you know, so many other companies that are also doing a great job. But over $50, between $50 and $100, right? So now you're getting into a range where you technically can get a USA made knife if that's what you want from Kershaw. But they are going to be assisted. So I personally would rather go a little bit over $100 for the Kershaws. They do have a couple good knives though. The Link, the Leak, Dividend, all great knives. But between $50 and like $75, I think that Civivi is still the best. And I know I hate to say it because they're right there. But when you get over that range, right? When you get over that price range, you know, into like, you know, $75 to $95, that's where Kizer comes in. And then Kizer comes in fucking, you know, hitting home run after home run. So Civivi, personally, I think there's not very many knives that are not great for Civivi. Now, granted, there's going to be some that I don't like. There's going to be some that aren't my style. There's going to be little issues, like some of them don't have great lock bar access, but 85 to 90% of them are all good. Like they're pretty much good. They have all the little checks, you know, that you can check off on a good knife. They have, and for the money, I think you're getting quite a bit. So that's usually the route I go when people ask me, like, what should I get? Now, obviously, if you have a specific question or a specific knife or specific thing that you want to do, then you're going to get a specific answer. But broadly speaking, now I personally think for Civivi, the best knives you can get from them are going to be one of the few. The Elementum button lock, the gravity knife one. I freaking love this thing. Again, you guys already know about, you know, I posted the Quiet Carry large waypoint video. Look at how thin that thing is. Talk about slicey geometry. This thing is a performance knife. I love it. And if you look, you know, they're very similar. They really are. So you guys know I love the Elementum button lock. I think this is a perfect size knife. I love the profile, of the style of it. Deep hollow ground spear point blade with amazing ergonomics that you can use in any grip, and it has great balance. And you know, I kind of like the locking system personally. I do have the 20 CV version right here. This one has a flat grind though instead of the hollow, and you can technically, you can reverse click them both, but you still have to push that button. Anyways, another one is the Civivi Vision. The Civivi Vision. That is actually, I got one right here to pull out so we can check it out. The Vision, that is oh no, this ain't the Vision. I messed up. I thought I grabbed it. I guess I messed up, but we can talk about this one too. The Civivi Praxis button lock. This one's the button lock. They do have liner lock versions of this. If you're okay with a flipper only knife, this is great. There's a premium version with thumb studs and a flipper, but this is an amazing knife. Even if you go with the affordable liner lock version, it's like 45, 50 bucks. It's crazy good, or crazy value. This one has aluminum scales. I think it's 9CR. No, Nitro V steel on this one. Nitro V steel. The other version has 9CR. Deep carry clip that is reversible. Button lock action. Rock solid lockup. Phenomenal knife. But the Vision, though, I could pull up a picture of it since I'm an idiot and I didn't bring it out. But the Civivi Vision is probably, arguably, their best knife right now. I do think, though, this knife is not getting enough shine. I think that this one does deserve just a little bit more hype, and that's the Sentinel Strike. I think that this is a phenomenal knife. You have multiple deployments. You got thumb studs and a hole deployment. You got both right there. It'll focus. And, you know, it's button lock. Very, very smooth, great ergonomics, beautiful Warncliffe blade shape that's going to be an amazing, amazing slicer and user. Nitro V steel. Oh, no, sorry. This one's K110. I forgot. That's the one part they shit the bed on. They put K110 on this. But amazing knife. But yeah, the Vision FG, because of the super lock and everything, and we do have that video coming up very soon where we're going to test all the Visions head to head. We're going to do an edge retention test on the Nitro V, edge retention test on their Damascus, and compare it. What is better, their Nitro V or their Damascus, and their 20 CV. And then we're going to be able to compare it. What's really cool about that test is then we can also compare it to the KUBEY, which was 20 CV. So we'll be able to compare their 14C versus their Nitro V. Now, the geometry is different. So I do expect the KUBEY to do a little bit better as far on the 20 CV, but we'll see. David, thank you, man. Appreciate the support. Been a member for 15 months. What's up, Neeves? Doing a birthday live for me. Yes, I am. Happy birthday to David. Everybody give David a happy birthday, or give him your happy birthday wishes. I probably missed a shout out. Sorry, guys. Snagged a Spitfire for $10. Can't beat that. Hey, is it true that you can run Nitro V somewhere in the mid 60s? Yeah, I didn't know it could hit that max hardness. Yeah, you can get it like 63, 64. I've got which AEBL and 14C and Nitro V, they're kind of similar. I got some just about 64, about 63.8. But yeah, you can definitely push Nitro V pretty good because it has such incredible toughness, like 14C. So granted, yeah, you're going to lose some toughness, but with that hardness, it's going to improve in, you know, edge stability and a lot of other things. Obviously, the edge retention will go up, and you know, you can get a little bit more performance out of it. I just put my titanium scales and aluminum ball cage on my Manix 2. Absolutely love how my knife feels now. I know what you mean. I had a lot of trouble with the lanyard hole. Yeah, that can be a son of a bitch. You know, there's a little tool for that, guys. If you guys are doing a lot of work on Spydercos, often there is a little tool to help you push out the lanyard barrel. But yeah, it does. It absolutely changes that knife. And, you know, we are about to get into the knives above $100, but I do think everybody should have at least 5 knives or 5 categories. Now, I personally think you should have at least 10 knives, to be honest. But let's just say, you know, you're a minimalist. You definitely need a good kitchen knife, right? You need a good chef knife. You know, obviously you're probably gonna have a bunch of different knives, but I think you should have one main one that's like, you know, a good chef knife, whatever that is. I'm not saying you have to get the whole set and have your whole kitchen filled with $300 knives, but you know, one special piece, even if it's a $65, $75 knife, you can get a great chef knife for that price. But you could also shell out a little bit more money and get something really, really nice. My specialty is the Steve KULWU one. I freaking love that thing. And you know, I have many other really nice chef knives. I got some from Giant Mouse and VOSTEED, and they are great. I freaking love them, but they don't compare to that one. Now, everybody needs a multi-tool of some sort, right? Not everybody uses multi-tools or will need a multi-tool as much as some other guys, but it's good to have, even if it's a minimal one. Now, you could also argue, instead of that, maybe a utility blade, right? Everybody should have a damn utility blade. Why wouldn't you have a utility blade? Because a utility blade is something for when you're cutting shit you're not going to put your knife through. That's the point. You know, this is something I'm not going to cut. I'm not going to take my knife and drag it across concrete in order to cut, you know, some plastic or something. But I will a utility blade because you can just replace it. I want a 14C28M from Super Still Steve. I think it's a little bit tougher to get that in small batches because so many companies are selling it in big batches and buying it out in big batches. So it's a little bit more difficult to get. Unless if you're going to get a lot of it. And you know, obviously the lesser you get, the more money it is. Another one. I think everybody should have some sort of hard use knife. Even though I am all about that mega thin geometry and that cutting performance, I can still appreciate a nice tough knife. Cold Steel's Triad Lock. I mean, if you're wanting a folding tough knife, that's you know, that's the pinnacle. That's the best. And I haven't seen any other company that can really compare to a Cold Steel as far as what they bring to the table, the amount, the affordability, and how tough they are. They are just absolutely tough as nails. They are a real hard use knife. But a lot of people, when they're going to want a hard use knife, they're going to want a fixed blade. So I personally like, for a hard use fixed blade, I think Phobos knives is probably some of the best you can get. This one's Magna Cut. I got one right here in 3V. These are really tough knives, but they also are still slicey. They still are going to cut well. They come with a good edge angle, nice tip strength. You're not going to have to worry about your tip. You know, I'm not 100% on the HRC on all of these. I know I think I found out when I did my video on them, but I don't think it was horrible. I think this was like 62 or something like that, which I'm not mad at for a fixed blade, as far as Magna Cut goes. But yeah, Phobos knives is great. Now, Work Tough Gear is another one. I freaking love Work Tough Gear. If you're wanting some heavy hitting knives, like something for chopping the shit out of stuff, check out, not even just this one. This one's great, but I don't think these are available anymore either. I think you might be able to get them on Arizona, what the hell is it called? Arizona Customs or whatever. But Work Tough Gear has a ton of other knives that you can get that are absolutely badass. But another option would be like Moras, right? If you're on a budget, if you're on a tight budget and you want like a tough, compact knife, you know, fixed blade, Moras are great. The Mora Garberg is tough as it's so tough. It's 14C28N. And it is just an absolute beast. I've seen even the $15 Moras, the $15 Moras. The Garberg's like 80 bucks. I've seen the $15 Moras outperform, and I mean in toughness wise, outperform like very expensive knives where they broke. That Mora just kept kicking. Yeah, Arizona Custom Knives. Yes, thank you, Kelly. I appreciate it. Also Tops. I think Tops, while I think they're probably running their steel soft and stuff like that, they do have some nice hard use knives like the BOB, the Brothers of Bushcraft, but they are thick as a brick. That's why they're also hard use. So these are knives more for prying and doing stupid shit, batoning. So, you know, you got to kind of pick your battle on what you want in toughness. I usually personally don't need that shit. I prefer like this type of geometry a little bit more, where, you know, it's realistic. You know, I can baton with this. It's plenty thick. This is plenty tough. The tip is plenty tough on this, but it's not obnoxious to where I'm not going to be able to cut chicken with it, you know, without it just splitting or whatever. What else? So hunting, fishing, work. You know, this is obviously, you know, you got to pick a fixed blade or a folding knife. You got to pick which one you want. This one's a little bit tougher to choose because everybody's going to have something specific, but I think the Spyderco Salt series is great for fishing knives. You guys already know I love Quiet Carry. I think Quiet Carry is just if you're just looking for an EDC knife and you want a phenomenal EDC knife, check out Quiet Carry, man. Quiet Carry does a banger job, man. This new Waypoint is a home run all the way around. I can't express that enough. Highly recommend this. They're not cheap. They're made in Taiwan, and it's in Van X steel, which is expensive, and titanium, but damn it, is it good. It's one of those knives, you know what I mean? One of thems. But the Benchmade Tagged Out is another good one if you want a hunting / fishing knife, USA made, great knife. I got one in the other room. I should have brought it out here. Cold Steel has the Master Hunter, which is a fixed blade, which is pretty cool. Civivi has the Elementum button lock. I don't have one here, but it's just a longer, bigger version of this in a fixed blade. And that is really awesome. I have tried it, and that was really good. I definitely recommend that as like a multi-purpose knife. It somewhat has a similar shape to this, kind of with the spear point blade. So, you know, to me, I like that blade shape, you know, as far as like having like, you know, multi-purpose knife out in the field. Favorite flipper fidget pocket knife, man. That's tough, man. There's so many of them. There's a lot of great fidget knives. Like when you're talking fidget knives in 2023, the list is endless. There are so many. I like to fidget with all different kinds because I don't like doing the same action over and over. I like, I love my good reverse flick, but I also like a good thumb flick. I like a good front flipper. I like a good regular flipper. I like all different deployments. So it's tough for me to pick a favorite. But as far as the best EDC knives go, okay, I'm going to list out just a few companies, a few knives. I already listed the one, Quiet Carry. I think they are one of the top tier companies as far as buying an EDC knife. And I'm not specifically talking about premium knives. Like I could talk about KUNWU. I could talk about Riat. I could talk about like Riat is like the pinnacle, right? Like they pretty much do the best work, especially for the money, but they are expensive. But is it realistic for most people? Probably not. When somebody asks you, hey, what's the best knife I could buy, or what's the best knife for me? When you say a $300-400 knife, they're usually like, oh, go fuck yourself, So I understand. So what I would lean people towards, if you don't have Quiet Carry money, is Spyderco. I think Spyderco, you're getting pretty much the best bang for your buck when it comes to performance. You're getting the best heat treatment. You're getting good geometry. You're getting tough locks. You're getting good action. Solid knives. The build is nice and solid. Everything's, just, in my opinion, rock solid. Like they just do a damn good job. Are they perfect? No. Do they have faults sometimes? Yeah, absolutely. Every company does. But if you're looking for performance, I think Spyderco is the way to go. Now, a lot of people don't like them because they're ugly. Yes, they are. They are ugly, but they damn sure work great as a tool. This is the Kapara. This was the Manix 2 and Rex 45. You can find this at GP Knives. I'm not sure how many are left. So if you're wanting to get one, you better get it soon. There's only satin versions left. They don't even have any more of the coated blades. But the Kapara, super solid knife. Mine's got aftermarket scales on it. Now, another one, if you're wanting to stay in the budget USA made stuff, Kershaw Launch Series, if you want automatics. Kershaw recently came out with the Bel Air. Phenomenal knife. We should be showing pictures of all this stuff. We're going to skip past this here in just a minute. We're almost done. I just wanted to talk about some of the better knives for people to buy. If you are just getting into knives, we got a lot of new viewers, by the way, guys. That's also why I'm kind of talking about this. I should have brought all these knives out, but what else? Oh yeah, we already talked about Kizer, right? Kizer if you're in the $95 range, man, Kizer. I brought a pack. Kizer is absolutely lit. They got so many options. Check this out. Right now, Kizer has some amazing sales going on. You can get this for, I think, like $120, 20 CV aluminum scales with the, what do they call this? I can't even think of the lock now. The clutch lock. Man, this is a badass knife. This is the Kizer Escort. If you're wanting something like a Benchmade Bug Out, a Hogue Deca, and you don't want to pay that price, but you want still premium quality, this is the way to go, man. This is just about as good as it gets when it comes to a solid pocket knife. Another option, very similar to that, if I can find it, we already know, the Drop Bear. $95. You're getting an amazing knife. Now you can spend a little bit less. I think maybe these ones are a little bit more, and it's the Mike Carter ones that are 95. I'm not sure. You can go check. Kizer's linked down in the description. But the Drop Bear, one of the best knives that they've ever created. I think that this is going to be an icon from them. I think this is going to be something that just, sticks around forever. Same thing with the Escort. I personally, it's hard to pick which one I like more because I love them both. But they even have like the Beglighter XL, badass knife. This comes in multiple different versions. Well, the Beglighter comes in a lot of different versions. Like, they got button lock versions that are regular size. The one was an XL that I just pulled out. But Kizer has tons and tons of options. Everybody knows the Towser K. That's a good one. This wouldn't be like the most recommended. I mean, if you really like action, this one's great because this has like some of the best thumb stud action you could ever ask for. Great ergonomics, very slicey blade. It's an amazing knife, a badass knife. But I don't think it's going to be everybody's style. I think when you start talking about recommending to everybody, most people are wanting a specific style of knife. This is also the copper bag lighter. Look at this. Look at how smooth these fucking things are. That's crazy how smooth. And this is rock solid. So it's crazy how smooth Kizer has gotten their damn action, man. It's just insane. Like, it's that action. When I first joined the community, the only place you could get that action was the Grimsmo Norseman. Literally, like the Grimsmo Norseman was it. Oh, maybe who was it? Maybe Holt was about the only other one. Everybody else couldn't do it. When you can't find a knife in your collection of knives, you know you have a lot of knives. That happens to me every day. What's up, brother? Hope you're having a great weekend. Question for you. Can you recommend some good sources for getting fixed blade sheaths from? Yeah, actually, the guys in the chat will probably recommend some right now. It depends on if you want leather or Kydex. I can't think of anybody that does Kydex. I know TKELL has a guy who does Kydex, but I don't know how, friendly they are with the community or like, doing business with other people. But there's a bunch of guys doing leather work that you can get a hold of. You'll find them all over Instagram. You just got to find them, but there's a ton of them. I'm trying to think of oh man, who's the guy that Steve uses? Steve KULWU. I can't even think of the name of him now. I feel like a dickhead because I know the company very well. I can't think of him. Somebody's gonna help me out. Somebody help me out. You just used Wink's Rust. Oh, he's talking to somebody else. Go to local gun shop and see if they will make you a Kydex sheath. Yeah, if you're looking for Kydex. So that's the question. Is it Kydex or leather? Maybe he already said, I don't know. I think QSP Osprey is close to the bag lighter. I think QSP does a really good job. I'm not going to say that they don't. They definitely do a good job. A lot of companies do, though. A lot of companies are doing a great job. So I think in order to stand out in any realm, say in the $50 range, $100 range, $150 range, $250 range, up to $400 range, you kind of have to bring your A game in 2024 to stand out. It's just the way it is. Like, it's not like it was a few years ago. We have so many fucking badass knives right now. Like, we are in the time of the knives right now where we have like just a plethora of knives and everything to choose from. And that's why I want to start doing a lot more testing this year. And because this is another reason why. One, I think you guys want it, but two, I think that with the wave of all these knives, I think we need to make sure these guys are scared to put shit out, right? Because the more it gets watered down, the more shit you're going to see. So in order to preserve companies going up and beyond to make sure we get good products for the price, we got to test them. We got to test them. We got to show the results. We got to keep them on their toes when it comes to whether or not they're going to put on a knife. And, it's not about something bad happening, right? Things happen. It's about what they do about it. But one thing we don't want to see, of all things, is fucking bad heat treatments. We don't want to see shitty heat treatments. Like, that's the most important part about the knife, right? That's what makes the knife. Obviously, the geometry. The geometry is the most important. Heat treatment second, then the steel choice. Like, those are the most important parts, like, in order. Once my father got past the lock back buck 110 mentality, he opened up. Now he loves Spyderco and Civivi, Timascus and button locks. Yeah, dude. Once you get out of your bubble, man, it's a big world out there. Word on the street is that the best knife channel on this side of heaven. Yes, this is the best knife channel on this side of heaven. I actually looked up. I don't know why I did this. I just had just a thought, and I checked it out. I Googled what is the best knife channel, And I couldn't believe I didn't even make the top 5, but it was done in 2017. That's why. I was a little upset that I didn't even make like the top 7, but then I looked at it and it was done in 2017 or some shit. So I read that one. I still like my 110 auto. I could never get attached to the old ones. When I was a kid, see, I grew up with them, so it is something iconic to me, and I do love it. It does have a place in my heart, but I could never carry one, not anymore. There's just too much good shit out there. Like that to me is so. Let's talk about that. What are the knives to stay away from? Right? We can talk about all the knives that you can run towards, which are great. But there are some that I think you should stay away from. Personally, for me, and I hate to push this. I don't want to say this. I almost feel like throwing up just saying it. But I think buck for folding knives is not always the best place to go. Maybe with fixed blades. Fixed blades, great. But with the folding knives, unless I know the Buck 110's iconic. It's it is awesome, but it's not modern. It's not a modern day knife. It's not something I'm going to recommend to the masses to go out and get. No pocket clip, heavy as a brick. They do have the lightweight version with the clip. I know, but other companies to stay away from. Personally, for me, Gerber. Stay away from Gerber. Why do I say that? Well, because they suck. And if they ever contact me and ask me to check out one of their knives, I absolutely will. I would love to see them win. I know they have done some stuff in the USA, but every time I get a Gerber, it's almost always garbage. Almost every single time. Actually, no, it has been every single time. And I've had such bad heat treatments from them. I've had their blades snap on me when they shouldn't have. I've had everything bad happen to me with a Gerber. So I tend to lean towards that they're problematic and they're not worth the money. I'm sure there's a knife out there that's great from Gerber, but I've never experienced it. What are some other companies to stay away from? M-Tech, obviously. M-Tech, the Gerber lawsuit coming in hot. M-Tex, stay away from M-Tex. Hey, Jared, what's your opinion on SE Knives? So SE Knives, I like SE Knives as warranty. I think they, they're a cool USA company. I do think they run their steels quite a bit soft. And I think that's, I don't know if it's obviously it's on purpose, but they use thick geometry and soft heat treatment. So that would be my negative to them. I think you can, if you have the money to go towards a different company, but they are a mass produced company that we can get for an affordable price from the USA. And I appreciate that. So I do have to make sure I say that on top. I appreciate their USA company. I appreciate what they do. I appreciate their warranty. They have a no questions asked warranty. You can break it on purpose and they will replace it. No other company says that. No other company says, yeah, go ahead and break my shit on purpose, videotape it, and I'll give you a new one. Nobody says that. So that's awesome. But if you're looking for performance, then you might not want to go that route. But anyways, as far as other companies to stay away from, anything that doesn't tell you the steel. If it doesn't tell you the steel, and then look at the steel. What steel is it? I would say if it's lesser than 9CR or 440C, stay away from it. I say 440C is the bottom of the barrel, 9CR is the bottom of the barrel. They are good though. I'm not saying like they're bottom of the barrel bad. I'm saying bottom of the barrel where they're adequate. They're okay. There's no problems with it. They're good for the money. That's where you want to start at. Anything from there and up, I think that's where you want to stick around. Now, be careful though, because there's going to be companies that will lie to you and tell you something's, M390 and it's really 8CR. So you do want to go towards reputable companies. You want to stay away from these no-name, crazy, weird named companies with like XOZY, like those weird fucking companies. Stay away from those guys. Try to go with the bigger brand knives as far as when you're ordering online. But anything that says surgical stainless, German stainless, or just stainless, never buy that shit. That shit, obviously, we all know that, right? Stay away from that stuff. But I think also there's a price range to stay in. I don't think I'm not saying there's not a good knife for $10 because there obviously is somewhere. And if you only have $10 and you need a pocket knife, that's fine. But the Smith and Wessons and stuff like that, those $10, $12 knives you get from like AutoZone, stay away from those. Those are definitely not good. I used to buy them all the time for construction, but they suck. Yeah, I say if you're gonna if you're gonna get something affordable, I say start at $20. I think for between 20 and 30, you can actually get something decent or from Ganzo, right? Ganzo knives. They actually start at like $17 up to like 30, 40 bucks. You can get great knives from them. So that's where I think is like the starting point is going to be between 20 and $30. You don't want to go under that unless if it's like, like I said, like a cheap fixed blade from Mora or something like that, but that doesn't count. We're talking about pocket knives right now. I have an old Benchmade from 1993. It's a real piece of garbage. Natural born medalist. Thanks for all the info. Well, thank you for the 25 runs. I learned everything I know about sharpening from you and discovered Civivi and Sun Cut that are in my price range. There you go, man. They like I said, man, they do the best work for that money, for that price tag. I think that they're as good as it. Well, there's a couple other companies that can, stand a little bit toe to toe, but I think they're going to be the most consistent and have the most designs. And, because that's another thing. They have so many designs. They got a lot. They're pumping them out. Just get a folding utility blade. It's cheap and easy to carry. Antimatter, you need to go back to the 80s to get a good Gerber. I agree with that. Yeah, you probably used to make good knives. Hey, what's up, Neeves? Seeing you tried an auxiliary manufacturing fixed blade. How did you like it in person? It was good. It was thick. Let me pull it up so people can. Hopefully, I can find it like this. Let me see if I can find the exact one I have. Doesn't look like there's any here. Let me see available knives. Nope. Okay, so you guys can go watch my video. I can't find the exact one online right now, but it's just a little thick. It doesn't have a sharpening choil, but good though. It was good. Definitely a nice little, in my opinion, I felt like the one that I had is more of like a self-defense knife. It was a trailing point buoy and it was compact, like this big of a blade. Very, very compact. So what do you recommend for budget fixed blades? They always are different steels. Yeah, so that's it gets tough because I would say you're gonna have to go overseas for this. Unless you go, if you want USA, I can give you some USA options, but Civivi does some good fixed blades. Kizer has a couple good fixed blades. Civivi has the Civivi Elementum fixed blade, really good. They have a couple other options. Kizer has a couple good options. Now, if you want real bushcraft knives, I think you should stick with USA made or something, made from overseas, but other countries like Taiwan and stuff like that. Like I said, Work Tough gear is great, but those aren't budget. So if you're trying to stay in the budget realm, like I said, Civivi, Kizer, things like that. Even KUBEY. KUBEY's got a couple good ones. Depends on the fixed blade you want too, I don't understand why in this day and age, why you wouldn't put a sharpening choil. Yeah, well, the one reason, and this is why it also led me to believe that was a self-defense knife, was because the one reason you have for no choil is for nothing to get caught. And I understand that. Underwater knives should not have a choil. The reason why is because if you're underwater and your rope wraps around you, you need to cut it off. You don't want that rope getting stuck into the choil. You want to be able to just go and cut. And same thing with some self-defense knives. It's kind of the same idea. However, there's a way to do it. Like Spyderco's, right? These guys don't have a choil, but they do a good plunge grind because the plunge grind doesn't taper. It just goes straight down. Now, not everybody loves that, but that's damn sure better than a tapering plunge grind. Yeah, Mora knives. There you go. I already said that from the start, so I was thinking he wanted something different. But yeah, I brought up Mora earlier. Yeah, more knives is the best you're going to get for the money as far as a tough little fixed blade for like 15, 16 bucks. But I say get the Garberg for like 80, 90 bucks, 14C28N, super thick blade stock, just so ergonomic. That is just an absolute tank of a knife. And then Cold Steel has some good stuff too. So the Cold Steel Hunter, I brought that one up earlier. Hey Neeves, which do you like the best? Brown Mini FSD or the FSDI? So is the FSDI the new one, or is that the big one? Because the FSD I do love, man. I think that thing is just absolutely badass. I haven't tried the mini. I've only tried the big one. I want to try more of his knives. I'm not in contact with him. I think he might have been upset. And I don't know this. I'm just literally just speaking from my brain. So I'm not, nobody told me this. I don't have any information leading to this, but when I did the video on the FSD, I said some negative things about it, even though I absolutely loved it. Like, that's what you gotta understand. Like, this is what sucks when when you're honest, because you might absolutely just adore something and truly love the fuck out of it, but something happens, right? And what was happening with that one is it was failing on me when I choke up, and it wasn't the lock wasn't failing. I was pushing the button by accident, and every time I would choke up, the knife would go to close on me. So I had to say that. And it's not something I wanted to say, but it happened. So I said it. And I think that that might have left a bad taste in their mouth about me. I don't know. Hopefully not. Like I said, I want to get more of his stuff on the channel. Adventure Man with the 2 bones. What are your thoughts on the DIVO Growler V2? Love it. I think the everything DIVO does is really good. He's a knife guy. He's a knife guy. So of course he's going to do good shit. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. He's a fucking knife guy. He's going to be pickier than most. A lot of the designers we have in the community that design knives, not all of them are knife guys. Some of them just literally jump into it and start designing knives pretty quickly. Some of them are, come from different backgrounds. But when you start out as a knife guy and you jump through the journey as a knife guy, reviewing knives, testing knives, checking out the actions and getting to try thousands of knives across the board, you start recognizing little details that are beneficial for your knife or good for your knife or better than the other shit. You know what I mean? It's just even like the little details. And that's why I kind of get on, like, say, companies like Buck, that do button screws on a clip that's not inset. It's like, these are details that we know what's better. An inset clip with flat screws, we know that's better, right? Shitty lock bar access, we know good lock bar access is better. Texturing on your lock bar, better than being slick. Little things like that, and a lot more shit too. The way the choil's done, the geometry, so many details. And when you have handled thousands of knives, man, you know what you're doing when it comes to designing a knife. Because the Pony Stout is like insanely good. I love the Stout. So the Stout, it's weird because that knife is like the perfect knife for a small and a large knife. And I love them both equally. If you ask me which one's better, because I almost feel like the Stout was made to be the Pony Stout. Right, that should have been the original, and then the large one should have came second, maybe, because it feels, when you feel it, like, it's like, it feels like this is the way it was supposed to be made. However, the large version is amazing too, and I almost love it more than the Pony. So it's tough, man. We have a super chat. What is it? Born medalist. Did I miss it? I got that one. Yep, I got that one. Maybe you're running late. I know I'm backed up a little bit, so I'll catch up. You see the McNees Mac 2 3.5 jig titanium. The jig titanium looks so good. I haven't seen it. Nope, I haven't seen it. Maybe we can check it out. Lefty's trying to get his knives made here, right? Yeah, well, I think that goes for a lot of us. I think a lot of the guys that are going overseas, like even me, right? I'm going to do some business overseas, but I intend, and I'm very happy. My first knife design with TKELL was in the USA. I'm very happy about that, but that's something that I want to continue doing. I want to, by the way, these are available. I'm not sure how many are left right now. TKELL site, link down in the description. You can get the FLN. They got all kinds of badass tactical fixed blades. If you want a self-defense knife, check out TKELL. He does really good work. And of course, check out the FLN, you know, by your boy, Neeves. But anyways, what the hell was I talking about? I don't even remember what the hell I was talking about. Oh yeah, USA. I would love to bring anything that I do, like figure out a way to invest any earnings or anything I get, you know, that I do if I do business overseas, somehow bring it back to the USA. That's my intentions. That's why, like, some of the designs I'm doing, right? That's why we made the NEEVEKNIVECO site, because I can put it on there. So, you know, it's a USA site owned by USA people. And then it makes it to where the profits are, a lot of profits are going to the USA. Now, eventually, like I said, you guys already know I'm doing the USA apparel. I want to do a lot more, and I would love to do, I'd love to work with some of these other companies like Kershaw and Hogue. I don't know if they will. Kershaw did invite me to a thing. They said they'd fly me out like a prostitute, but I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. I think it's in June. Maybe I might do it because I do think it'd be some good networking. Maybe I can talk to them and get, you know, get in contact with doing a knife design with them. Have you ever done a list or video? I bet you I have of just veteran owned knife. Oh no, I guess I haven't done that. Or veteran knife makers. No, but I did do a video a long time ago on knives or knife companies that donate to a cause. It was like five different companies that that, like, if you buy their knife, that you have a certain amount that goes to a specific cause. So that was a pretty cool video. TKELL is from Georgia, so am I. I like supporting people in my area, especially. Take that plane, no problem. I watch him since 1 year ago, but I'm in a different time zone. Never get in lives. Well, welcome, natural born medalist. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you joining. Hilltown, he's talking to me. But yeah, I think getting as much USA stuff or as many USA things, you know, like meaning like different things going on, is really good for the community, you know, and building up the USA in the community is good. I'd love to see the USA expand and not fold or break, because that can absolutely happen, guys. It can happen in the blink of an eye. You could you know, very, very soon realize, like, holy shit, where are all the USA knife companies? Because they're all going overseas because they just can't sell knives because nobody's willing to buy them, so on and so on and so on. So in order to preserve that, you know, we buy them now while we can kind of afford them, and they can kind of give them to us for a reasonable price. Some of them are unreasonable, I get it, and I'm not saying spend stupid money, right? I'm not saying do that. That's ridiculous. There's no reason to buy a production folding knife for the same amount as a fucking custom, right? But, you know, try to support some of the companies that you do actually like, you know, and the ones that are doing the work that you like. Here we don't get the newest good stuff you get in the US. I am jealous. Yeah, we are very blessed in the USA. I'll say that. Yes, we are. We are very blessed in the USA. We got the Constitution, and yes, we definitely have like everything modern and, you know, the brand new of the new, which is definitely an awesome thing. I am a veteran, still active maker, but I'm just a knife guy. My knives aren't really aimed at military use. Well, don't ever say never. Don't ever say never, bud. You never know. Next time, next week, you might be making one. I have a feeling on Instagram I'm going to see him making one. Y'all see the new Spyderco Shaman on Blade HQ? Says it's coming soon. CTSXHP was Black My Card. I did see that. That is badass. I freaking love Spyderco CTSXHP. I think that they do the best, the best work on their CTSXHP. So yeah, very happy to see that. Benchmade set up the red line models for that reason, for USA made costing too much. Protech is one of my favorites, but I wish they did more manuals. I Can't agree with you more. That's my biggest complaint about Protech, is that they just do not do enough manuals. In my opinion, if they were really, I'm not going to say smart, because they are smart. They're a great business, great company, and that's insulting to say, but it would be awesome if they did a manual version of all their automatics. Think about that. If every single automatic they have was made in a manual version, holy shit, that'd be badass. Some of my knives are aimed for military work. Just that convenient. CTSXHP is a steel no one uses anymore, I feel. Yeah, I heard that they don't make it anymore. That's why. I heard it's not being made anymore. Maybe for specialty things it might be being made, but other than that, it's not being mass produced. It's like anything. Once you're into the hobby aspect, though, if you have 20 $50 things, don't say you couldn't afford one $600 thing. Agreed. You could definitely do that. But this is the thing. This is the part that, you got to understand. The people that have 5, 10, $50 things, that's because it took them 2-3 weeks to save up the $50, right? Like, so granted, you're right, they could wait 6 months to a year to buy the $600 thing, but most likely, but before they get to that, something's gonna happen and that money's gonna go away. You know what I mean? It's just the way it goes, man. When you're fucking broke and you're not making great money, or those times are tough for you, the worst shit happens. Every time you save money, like, there's no way you can save. You're always pumping it out. So when you finally have $50 in your pocket, it's a great time to buy that knife, instead of waiting for that shit to come up. It's nice to have, rainy day money. Don't get me wrong, but it's just the way it works. It is when you're in that $50 range, I think that there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's fine. If you're in the $600 range, that's great too. Everybody's got their spots. Some people are in the $600 range and they won't spend over $100 on a knife. But to each their own. I think it's good to have a little bit of everything. James K. Been a member for 19 months. Vertical lives acceptable if it helps the channel. It does, and it has, and we are going to continue to do those. I do plan on maybe even doing the next live here like that, maybe over on the sharpening bench and breaking out a bunch of stuff. My plan for this one was I was going to actually do the title that you guys seen in the thing. I was actually going to break out a ton of knives and sit here and actually go through all the knives I mentioned. But then I wound up deciding to go sideways, and now I just kind of winged it a little bit. Because if I was going to do that, it would have been over on the sharpening bench. But I think that's probably what we're going to do. I'm going to start doing those a lot more. They're kind of easy for me to set up. They're getting a lot of views. They're not like a lot of views that make you money, but there are a lot of views that do get, eyes on your channel and get people to subscribe. So that's awesome. I'm very, very happy or excited and happy that Marine X showed me this, because he's the one who put me on. And shout out to Marine X. Go and give him some support. Follow his channel. He's definitely doing some great work. I actually just sent him a package today, so he's got some gifts coming. And we can't really carry knives in public. Ooh, that sucks. I think the legal limit is like 1-inch blade, but I annoy all my friends talking about knives. A 1-inch blade? What are you even going to do with a 1-inch blade? You can't even cut a fucking apple with a 1-inch blade. That's insulting. Man, that sucks. And I'm sorry. I'm not trying to tease you, but that sucks. What's the new 2024 Spyderco that's like a thin shaman? The Bodacious. But I don't think it's dropped yet. Yeah, they are missing out on a lot of sales from people who can't buy autos. Absolutely. And I know they capitalize on the autos because they are like the star in the auto world, but man, that gives them so much room for the manual button locks, because they do button locks so well, and button locks are very popular right now, and especially if you're able to do them well. Antimatter, thank you for being a member for 24 months. Hey Jared, congrats on the success of the channel. Did you ever figure out the best stones for the TSPROF? I do know the best stones. But I'm saving it because I don't have the link yet. So just give me a couple days, and I promise I will make a full video on that exact question. Right now, if you're in a hurry to get some stones, I would recommend getting Some HAPSTONE starts if you just want diamond plates. HAPSTONE, it's linked down in the description. Go to their 6-inch stones and look for the starts. There's all different grits, and that's what they're called, CBN starts. Other than that, I would say get the double-sided Veneve Centurions. But before you spend the money on the Veneve Centurions, give it a few days, because I have a video coming out of these new stones that I'm testing right now that could possibly be a little bit better than the Veneves. If you already have Veneves, you're fine. Like, it's not like you need these, but if you haven't bought them yet, you might want to wait. James K gifted 5 NEEVESKNIVES memberships, man. Shout out to you, man. Thank you. Everybody who was a member who won the giveaway last week, your shit's on the way. I just shipped it, except for one guy because he gave me the wrong address. I wonder if he's in here. Slidoscope of knives, or what is it? Kaleidoscope of knives. My max was like $70 when I started. Now I'm looking at Hinders and other mid-techs. That's how it goes. That's how it starts, man. we all got to start somewhere, right? This is the name of the game. Name of the game. I sacrificed my entire gaming collection to acquire my grill knife set. Zero regrets. That is badass. Hey, man, I feel you, man. And, you know, everybody has like their thing that they like. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people have a thing that they like to collect. You know, some people like to collect different things and multiple things, but in the knife hobby, man, it really is a really cool hobby, man. It truly is. You know, it's not an unhealthy hobby. It's fun. There's so much information. There's so many great things out there. There's so many great chases. And if you are that type that likes to chase, you know, like mid-techs and things like that, there's tons of that stuff. There's literally categories for any type of person from all values, which makes it fun and interesting. And the people are just fucking amazing. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate it, brother. And yes, thank you to all the moderators that share my links in the chat. Just get skinny scales for the shaman. At least you still get a choil. Curious on bodacious steel options in the future. Looks like a smaller shaman. Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna do all different types of steels on that one. You know how they work. Got the hardest to actuate OTF, the Neptune today. Pretty nice, but dang, my thumb is broken. Also got my second petrified fish deep sea all black carbon fiber. Yeah, that's a good one. I know which one you're talking about. That is a badass knife, but a lot of OTFs are like that. Some OTFs have a very strong spring that will break in over time, and your thumb will get stronger. But when you first start, especially if it's your first one, there are some that are softer. Don't get me wrong, like Kershaw does some that are softer, and so does a bunch of other companies. But some do have a very strong spring. And if you're not used to it yet, you got to kind of break your thumbs in and give them some push-ups, you know. So get your thumb push-ups going and your thumb ups, and you'll be good to go. Corey Thomas with the 5 bones. What do you think about dendritic cobalt blade material, toughness, ease of sharpening, etc.? Thinking about buying the train. Okay, so I did a video on it, and I did an edge retention test if you want to see it. If you want me just to break it down right now, it's a steel that you want to put a toothy edge on, but what happens is as you cut with it, it gets toothier. So that's kind of the thing that happens. So it's not fair. When I did the cut test, it's not fair to test it against other steels. It's not fair because this steel, right? We cut a piece of paper and make sure it's sharp. We cut until it starts catching on the paper. However, that stuff, you don't care if it catches on the paper because, like I said, it gets toothier. So because of the toothiness, that kind of keeps it cutting more. So it's just a different purpose. However, that being said, regular steels get far sharper, take far keener edges, are going to be way easier to maintain, strop, are going to be great for thin geometry. That stuff has to be on the thicker side, so it's more robust. It's you know, it's not the best to deburr. Like, it's not like when you bring up a burr, that burr is a motherfucker to remove. So there's a lot of little things where high quality steel is going to be far superior, but that doesn't mean there's not a place for that, right? I do think, you know, somebody who's going to be in the field and cutting ropes and things like that, and they're, you know, worry about corrosion and stuff, that might be a good application for them. But we do have a lot of fucking great steels that that work really good. So hey, it's a cool knife. I got one. I got a couple of them, and I love them all. I think they do a good job. They're great knives, but that as far as that material goes, I'm personally not the biggest fan. It's okay. But if you want to know the edge retention, like as far as compared to a steel, it's like 14C 28N edge retention. But like I said, you can't compare it because it's supposed to get toothier. So the way you'd want to test that is like you'd want to cut with it until it stops cutting rope or something like that. Like that would be a better way to do it rather than cutting paper, because it's not supposed to be fine, a fine edge to go through paper. It's more of like a toothy edge, like a serrated edge when you sharpen it. Microtech has gotten better, but dang, some of them people can't operate it and it embarrasses them. That's funny. Bushcraft. The best knives are Russian, unfortunately. What are the best knives out of Russia? Shirogorov is one. What other ones are there? I can't even think of any other Russian knives besides Shirogorov. Shirogorov's the shit, though. I do love Shirogorov. I don't know if I'd say that they're the best. I think the USA does the best. So I think USA is number one. Then probably China, and then probably Taiwan, and then Poland, though. Poland does some good shit too. I gotta fit them in. USA. Then, when I say China, it's because they have so much, man. They make 80% of all the knives on the planet. So they have Riat, they have We Knife Co., they have Bestech. So it's hard to sit there and say like that they're not on the top tier. But Polish Custom Knives, they do a really good job. Or Herman Knives, anything from Poland. Taiwan does really good shit. Italy does great shit. They just can't get a damn heat treat down to save their fucking life. As far as higher HRCs. 14C is the best budget steel. I agree. Where is a good place to get G10 liner slabs for fixed blades? Ask Luck. Luck is going to answer that. Luck, where you at, brother? Hey, seems knife people are top notch. Gun people are hit and miss. People are interesting if you're tired. That's hilarious. That's good. It's been a while since I've made it on Instagram account, but you sign up online and get posting. Growth comes slow usually. So you can grow an Instagram account pretty fast if you do the right things. Like I personally don't even do all the right things, but I could. I absolutely could. I spend more time doing other shit on other other platforms like this one. But if you're going to do Instagram, you're going to really be serious on growing it. Obviously put your tags in, post at least 5 times a week. That's like the sweet spot for Instagram supposedly, but you can post once a day. That's also really good. Post once a day. But I'm pretty sure studies have shown that the best is 5 posts a week, but you could do 7, do 1 a day. But you have to do that. You have to go on lives, do those little things and just promote yourself and make good shit. Like, don't just do something on there, right? Just because you made a post doesn't mean it's fucking good. Doesn't mean anybody wants to look at it. So you got to be, you got to make sure your pictures are good, your photography's good, or at least halfway decent. If you're doing videos, make sure they're halfway decent. I don't even go nowhere near the potential of what I could do. I could totally create great Instagram videos. I just don't, because it's not a platform that really does anything for the channel. I mean, it does for the channel as far as communication, but yeah, it's just to me, like, I'm always just waiting for it to fucking throw me out. So I'm not really putting too much time and effort into it. TikTok, I've had some pretty good results from. However, they did almost take my shit away when I showed knives, but as long as I'm only sharpening, they love it. They just don't want me to do this. They hate that. They hate that, but they love this. So I know now. You can cook, you can cut food, you can cut things, you can cut whatever you want. But don't you fucking open that knife, you bastard. I don't get the mirror finish. Why should you do it? I used to stop at 600 grip, and now I finish at F-150 Neve. The bite is dangerous. Well, it depends on the steel. The reason why some people would do a mirror polished edge is because sometimes a mirror polished edge on certain steels gets insanely sharp. Like fuck you sharp, and it's very easy to maintain on a strop. You can easily keep it going, you know, like forever, not ever, but you can keep it going for a very long time. But it depends on the steel. Some steels don't do good with a fine, super fine edge, but some do. And if you can get a knife or an edge that's just absolutely hair whittling sharp and it holds it, right? I'm not saying it gets hair whittling sharp and then goes dull as soon as you use it. It gets hair whittling sharp and it holds it. Then, you know, that's awesome. And, you know, it's kind of fun. You know, it's nice to show somebody a nice big old low angle mirror polished edge. It makes you feel good. All right. Similar, you can't post full length vids, I don't think. Mostly photos and short videos. Great for networking though. That's how I use it. I use it for networking. If you're talking about Instagram again, that's basically what I use it for, networking. TikTok, I just use it to post to funnel people over to here. That's my goal, is just to funnel people. But yeah, we'll see how it winds up working out in the future, because they almost took it away from me. But that was because I was flipping knives. So now that I know better, I don't do that. Have the Arnold Bernard's folders come to the States? Yeah. Oh yeah, we get Arnold Bernard's. I love Arnold Bernard's. I've had a couple on the channel. I don't think so, but I made a contact for Jared with a German guy. Yes, he did. Hopefully, he contacts me soon. Love to all. I got to watch the Australian Grand Prix. Take it easy, Average Joe. I appreciate you stopping in. When's Kara going to make it on cam? I don't know. She might be coming to the show with me. So in that case, at that point, but somebody said something about Maximet. Maximet, no, you don't want to polish Maximet. So Maximet will take an incredibly sharp polished edge, like insanely sharp. Same thing like with S110V, but it doesn't hold it well. The reason why is because Maximet is not a great fine edge holding steel. It's a great working edge holding steel, and a working edge is more of like a toothier edge. So a medium grit edge, I would say toothy to medium grit is what you want on Maximet, S110V, and many other steels. But yeah, it will absolutely take a mirror polish, and it will be sticky and so sharp. But once you start cutting with it, it loses that bite. So it still stays sharp. I'm not saying it gets dull. I'm saying it loses its bite. Because remember, when we're talking about sharpness, there's two things to think about. There's the edge sharpness, which is the edge angle, and then there's the teeth. The micro serrations, right? What I'm talking about right now is the micro serrations. They wear down and then it's just left to sharpness. Well, you need the teeth on the edge bevel in order for it to stay into cuts and cut appropriately, you know? All right, brother. Thank you for jumping in for a minute. Hilltown. Doom is awesome. Doom? What are you guys talking about? Thank you, Todd. Yes, Polish Custom Knives. There you go, right there. Awesome knives from them, man. I'm gonna do a video soon on their stuff, man. They do great shit. HCR with a mirror edge is the goat. Yeah, I bet you really think that. That's hilarious. Yeah, man, HCR. I haven't used it in a long time. I don't even see it hardly anymore. I think companies are starting to. I think they're starting to get the information. Don't use that steel. Jared, what is KUNWU's Van X going to be like? Good outfit. Wait, hold on. It's going to be like 60 to 62. Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's 61 to 62, I think, or something like that. But yeah, it could be 60 to 62. Yeah, it's decent. I haven't had any problems with KUNWU's Van X. Quiet Carry does a really good job with Van X too. I've got quite a bit Van X now. I was thinking about it the other day, like how many knives do I have in Van X? Because I remember at one time when I didn't have Van X and I was chasing Van X. I wanted Van X. I needed it. I needed it in the collection because I had all these other steels and Van X was so hard to find. You never seen it. Like it was like an impossible steel to get. Then Quiet Carry came out and they were using Van X. So yeah. Great steel, man. Great steel. It is one of, if not arguably, the best steel for pocket knives. Why do I say that? Well, it has a good amount of toughness. It has great edge retention. It's got edge retention similar to like 20 CV, but it also has the highest corrosion resistance you can get on a steel. So it's very, very well rounded. Do you have a quiet carry drift? Yes, I do. I have the Drift LC and I have the regular drift, the new version with the thumb studs. I just can't find it. It's somewhere around this fucking place. Like somebody else said, you know, when you have so many knives, you lose. I normally have all my quiet carries in one place, but yeah, I got a few quiet carries laying around me right now. I got bang, bang, bang. I got another one right over there, but I'm not going to grab it. And then bang. Oh, no, not that one. I meant this one. Bang. HCR 13 MOV, OS 8 420 basically. Yep. You got it, Todd. Todd knows his shit, man. He's right on the money right there. That is exactly right. I can't wait for my reverse tux Padre. Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. That's a goodie. You're going to be very happy. Very, very happy with your purchase there. That is definitely a banger. Do you prefer the drift or the waypoint? So if you're talking about this waypoint, the big one, not the small one, the big one, I really like them both, man. That's so tough because they are both amazing. Normally, I would say this, right? Because this is a little bit more my style as far as length. You know, the shape. I love this shape. This is like my favorite knife shape right here. So I'm going to say this one, but if you told me yours was the drift, I wouldn't argue with you because they're so close, in my opinion, that I could say the drift tomorrow. Like literally change my mind in 10 minutes. Ask me at the end of the show. I bet you it'll change. It's like that. They're very similar as far as geometry. Well, they're a little bit different in geometry because one's a flat grind, one's a hollow grind. But I mean, they're similar in geometry as far as having a super thin blade with nice thin geometry. So they're both very thin in the hand. They're both very thin geometry. So they're super slicey. Both of them are incredibly slicey. They have washer action, great thumb stud washer action. So I got a waypoint in Vanex. Yes, sir. Yeah. I got two in Vanex in that because I got the small one, the original one. Which look at how much bigger the bigger one is. I mean, it's quite a bit bigger. And it's bigger in every way. But they also have the contoured big one, which is in Magna Cut. But this one is so much thicker. Like way, way thicker. The blade is thick. Everything's thicker. It's way, way bigger. As far as thickness goes. So I love it. And I think it's a great tough knife. But this is something special, especially when you cut with it, man. Like I started breaking down cardboard with this thing, and it's like it just passes through so good, man. I can't wait to sharpen it because I do think that Rex 45 100%, but I do like S30V. I think you should sharpen your Vanex when you get it. I think most Vanex, I'm not going to say all, not all, but most come with burnt edges. Most, I've never seen a Vanex edge last from the factory. So I don't know exactly why that is. I have no idea, but I'm guessing because I think it's susceptible to burning easier than some other steels, because every time I get a knife in Vanex, it goes dull very quickly. But once you sharpen it and put your own edge bevel on there and you remove a little bit of that steel, it gets way, way better. Like the edge retention goes through the roof. So that's why I recommend, you know, obviously burn out your factory edge, right? Burn it out, but don't have expectations on it. Don't think that it's going, like if it goes dull one day using it or just breaking down one box, don't think Vanex sucks. Sharpen it. Would you rather have a wide carry drift or a TRM equivalent? So the TRM I love because it's USA made, but I like the quiet carries a little bit more. I love titanium. I'm a titanium whore. If the TRM was in full titanium, you know, you could debate me then, but I love the micro milling. I love a lot of things about quiet carries. Knives are like my style knives. Like that's like my shit. So, and TRM is too, to some extent. My favorite is the Shadow from them. I'm trying to get their new thumb studs for my Shadow. But yeah, I'm gonna go quiet carry on that one. But it's a close one. It's a real close one. And I absolutely love my TRM knives, and I think TRM is kicking ass. So I wanna make sure I scream that. They are absolutely kicking ass. Ever go out with a newly sharpened knife and start cutting cardboard on giggle? I confess, laughing. Just the 9, and I love the QC now. Definitely want to try their Van X next. Sergio from KUNWU is a knife nerd. He knows not to burn the edge by running the belts too fast. Yeah, I'm sure he does. I don't think it's ever like an intentional thing. Maybe it's not even burning the edge. Maybe that still just doesn't do well with belts. I don't know. I have no idea. I just know I have yet to have seen a factory edge on any Van X. Not once have I seen a good factory edge. And like, they're sharp. I'm not saying they're bad as in sharpness. I'm saying they're never good as an edge retention. Like, they always just like lose their bite immediately. Even this one, I'm already ready to sharpen this. I've only broken down a few boxes, and already I've stropped it a few times just to bring it back, because I broke down a few things, but I haven't done enough cutting to where it should be bad. It's still okay because I've been stropping it, but I can just tell, like, it's not, it needs to be sharpened. With this one went dead right away. Like, it almost scared me. I almost thought, like, oh man, this stuff sucks. Then I sharpened it and it was great. And many other ones that I've had. So I just, I usually just recommend, like, if, test it, check it, see how it goes for you. But if it goes dull quick, don't hold it against them. Just sharpen it. But yeah, KUNWU does a good job, period. And I do like that they care about their heat treatments. I do like that. So that's important to me. Good to know about the Van X. This is my first Van X blade. Yep. TRM is a great knife maker. Only complaint I have on them is how they are practically knife show exclusive. That's true. Their online store is always out of stock. Very tough to acquire otherwise. Yes, they are very highly desired. Every time they drop something on their site, they quickly leave. I've only been able to link them once in the past year. That's how fast they go. Have you ever tried Black Forge knives? I have not. Opinion on M4 versus Rex 45. I'll take Rex 45 in that case, but I love M4. I freaking love M4. M4 is a badass steel. Amazing edge retention. But I like Rex 45 a little bit more because I really like, so far, the way it takes its low angle, finer edges, and how well it keeps coming back from stropping. I found Rex 45, man, it just keeps on coming back. As long as you don't take it to 0 before you do that, right? Like, if you break down a little bit of cardboard or cut up whatever you're going to cut up and hit it on a strop, you can bring it back over and over and over. Just don't burn it up before you do it. Van X is bad edge retention. No, Van X isn't. What's up, Dave? Dave Warren's in the house. No, Van X doesn't have bad edge retention. I'm saying their factory edges are almost always bad. When you sharpen them, they're great, phenomenal. And I'm just speaking for myself, right? Like, I can't speak to all Van X, but all the Van X I've ever tried on a factory edge have always went dull quick. They've never lasted. But once I sharpen them, it like literally goes through the roof. So I love its edge retention. I just don't think it does well on belts or something. I don't know. I don't know if it's just susceptible to burning edges. If it just doesn't do well on belts and it does better on stones, I have no idea the reason. It's just the conclusion I've came to. And you can bring this all the way back to the video I first did on this one. I even said that. And I was talking about that, like, this stuff. And at the time, I think I had sharpened a few of them. It wasn't just one. I'm not excited about TRM's newest model. That little guy you're talking about? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one either. Vision FG is amazing. Yes, it is. I love the FG. I'm going to be doing the Vision test very soon, Lonnie. And you just won something, didn't you? I got something heading your way right now. The Vision FG is got a head-to-head coming up with the Vision FG in Nitro V versus the Damascus versus their NEEVEKNIVECO 20 CV. So we're going to do a 3-way edge retention test. We're going to test the scales, the Ultim, the micarta, and the titanium. I might take some of Civivi's G10 too, and also do it just to, because they have G10 ones. I don't have that model in it, but anyways, I'll figure it out. But we're gonna do a bunch of other tests. We might do a lock test. We might do a strength test. We might do a see how far we can throw it test. 15V sharpen right away. That depends on you. I don't think you need to right away. I think 15V, because it's going to come from Spyderco. Spyderco does usually a good job. They don't do bad edges. Their edges are usually pretty good. I think it's good to strop their edges as soon as you get them. So what I like to do is I either like to, 1, hone their edges as soon as I get them, or 2, put them on a strop, just a few passes per side. And they usually get super, super sticky. So that's where I like to go. Yeah, companies that don't make their knives available to make them seem special. Can miss my collection. Yeah, companies that don't make their knives available. Yeah, well, yeah, and with some they make them available, it's just they leave so fast. My Spyderco LC200N was the least sharpest I've got from the factory. It's fine after a sharpening. But the Civivi clip is super strong, really hard to put. So if you're having trouble with the Civivi clip, just you can bend it. Just take a piece of paper, fold it up like a bunch of times, like get it nice and thick, and wedge it under there overnight. It'll get weaker. You just gotta don't bend it, right? Don't bend it, but put pressure underneath it and get it to raise up a little bit, like for a couple hours. I usually get get rid of factory edges right away, but sometimes try to hang on to the factory. What do you recommend? So I recommend try to hang on to it, unless so this is what I say. If it's a high angle edge, put your own edge on there. That's what's going to be the worst thing. It's just the edge angle, the geometry, just like Larry Thomas said, right? Like there's a video of him talking about this. Blade geometry is the most important. Edge geometry is the most important. So if you want to change the performance of your knife, edge geometry, the way you are doing your edges, is the most important. So if you want more edge retention, lower edge angle. If you want a tougher edge, higher edge angle. And that's just the way it works. So if you get an edge from the factory and it has a high edge angle, it's not going to last. It's going to go dull pretty quickly. So if you want to increase the performance, not only in sharpness, but also edge retention, stropping ability, everything, sharpen it. However, if your knife comes with a good factory edge and it's a nice angle, there's no reason why you have to just sharpen it right away. Strop it, hone it, keep it going as long as it's up to your standards. Once it's not up to your standards, then sharpen it. My FG has a tie pocket clip and it's a pretty dang tight too. Tie pocket, would you get the aftermarket one or something, or the Civivi pocket clip? Their titanium one, is that what you're talking about? I never put much stock in a first edge. Now, after the second sharpening, I started getting suspicious, but wouldn't call a company out until the third or fourth. I agree with that, Todd. I agree with that. Yeah, I think it's better to sharpen it a few times. I've definitely seen performance come out. I've actually had it even more. I had some steels, and this I do think is bad. So don't think that this is like a normal thing. I had one that took like 10 sharpenings till it finally got into good steel. And that's horrible, right? That means it was burnt like a motherfucker. But most of them, if they have a burnt edge, it's 2 sharpenings, but there are going to be some examples where it's like 3 or 4. It just depends on how much steel you remove when you sharpen, because that's also a thing. Some people remove very little steel when they sharpen, and some people remove quite a bit of steel when they sharpen. I tend to remove a little bit more steel when I sharpen my first edge to get into good steel. Yes, I think 4 to 600 grit, 4 to 800 grit for S90V. You can do a mirror polished on S90V. It's just not going to hold it as good as a medium grit. So if you want the longest lasting bite on the edge, then I would say go medium grit, 4 to 800 grit. Depending on your edge angle too. So I would, and the geometry of the knife, obviously. But yeah, 600 grit, if you have a nice low angle, man, it's way finer than some people think. Even though it's a medium grit, when you have a nice low edge angle on 600 grit, especially if you stay on the stone, right? Here's the thing, and a lot of people, we don't talk about this, and I don't ever talk about this. Let's say I'm going 140 grit, 300 grit, and then 600 grit, right? That's my grit progression. And I go to 600 grit and I spend like 3 times the amount, almost as if I went to another stone, right? If I treat that 600 grit like 3 stones, like where I do my normal shit and then I act like I switch stones, but I stay on the 600 grit, do it again, act like I switch stones, but stay on the 600 grit, you will see the refinement of that 600 grit pattern will get way finer than a regular 600 grit edge. It's, you know, just the way any grit will work if you stay on that stone a long time. And then after you strop it, that's the edges. I've had edges from 600 grit that'll whittle hair but you usually have to do it that way to whittle hair with a 600. And you know, like I said, low edge angles. I've used cardboard for a clip shims. There you go. Yeah. What's up, Stasa? Stasa 23's in the house. Definitely go. What the hell just happened? Get off. I got something going on, guys. Hang on a second. What the? There we go. Where'd he go? Where did Stasa go? He's in here somewhere. He's lurking. There he is. Stasa 23. Definitely go and give him a follow. Go subscribe to Stasa 23 Knife Therapy. If you use the aftermarket titanium clip on the CVFG, you need this to shim the bottom of the clip so it's not in a bind. There you go. There you go. From the man himself, Stasa 23. Like I said, definitely go and follow his channel. Awesome channel. What do you think of the Chavez 229 kickstop? Love it. I recently did a video on it. I just did a video on their chisel grind versus their regular grind, so you can watch that. I put a very low angle on the chisel grind. But yeah, no, I love I love everything from Chavez, but that kickstop, man, is just kick fucking ass. I think they do a really good job with that. Riet does a killer job with it. I love that it's thick and robust, yet nice and slicey. Well, depending on which one you get. Which knife makers have you found burned the most edges? Ooh, that's a good question. Gerber. Okay, let's take Gerber out of it. So I think there's a difference between poor heat treatment and burnt edges, right? Obviously, there's a difference. So there's some companies that I say most of the knives I've ever tried from them had bad heat treatments or just very low HRCs. But as far as just burnt edges go, that's tough, man. That's tough because I've dealt with so many companies and I think about 20%, 20 to 30, maybe even like 40% of factory edges have a burnt edge. All factory edges, every single one of them will not hold an edge as long as a stone sharpened edge. So that's just the difference between a belt and a stone sharpened edge. So no matter what, your edge retention is going to go up with a stone sharpened edge. But if there's a burnt edge on the factory edge, it's obviously going to be even less than, you know, if it was perfect. But yeah, that's a tough one. I'm not sure. I'd have to really sit on that one. Gerber sucks. I have both kickstop Chavez, but I like the Tonto better. I got all Tontos. I got 3 of them. Do you like Tontos? I got 3 Chavez Tontos. Yeah, I like Tontos. So my favorite Tonto is a American drop point Tonto. So I like to see it drop. Oh no, sorry. My favorite is a harpoon Tonto. I freaking love a harpoon Tonto. Similar to like Sharp by Designs Tonto, but I also really love a drop point Tonto, as long as it's an American Tonto. I want this nice and straight. I want this nice pronounced secondary tip, deep hollow grind, dual grind, very slicey. This is a great knife. This is the Kizer Mad Tonto. What a phenomenal knife, man. Fantastic slicer, great geometry, great everything. But yeah, I like Tontos. My favorite isn't a Tonto, but I love a Tonto. I actually have a knife design coming right now, guys, with a harpoon Tonto. Dual grind, badass. Fucking badass. So can't wait for that one. If you were to buy a quiet carry for the first time and you have very large hands like mine, which one would you get? Either the quiet carry waypoint contoured. So this one's much thicker and a lot more hand filling. But this one's my favorite. It's slim though. So this one's big. Same length as this one, because this is a big knife. This is the large version of the original. So this is the original waypoint. This is the large one. You can see much bigger, right? This one's contoured and thick. This one's super thin. So I love this one, but it might be a little too thin for your hand because it is very thin. And in that case, get this one. But check this out. The Drift LC is big, thick, and slicey. It's like right there in the middle ground. The hole is a little smooth. That's my one. I wish it was a little sharper, but it's good. But this one's really good too. The LC, the Drift LC. It's an LC 200N. But yeah, that's probably what I would lean you towards. Tonto Poon. I like it. Poon Tonto. I like the American Tontos best. Me too. I love the American Tontos, but I really love a good harpooned Japanese. Well, it's like a medium, because when I think of Japanese style Tontos, I think of the Tontos that are just rounded up here, right? They can have a secondary tip, which I know is more of an Americanized Tonto, but it's more of like a modified Japanese Tonto, kind of like the K2. Like, remember this, guys? Ooh, now that's a beautiful Tonto, right? But this to me is a modified Japanese style Tonto. It's a straight back, just like original Tontos. It has the round edge right here, but it has the secondary tip. So it's a modified Japanese style Tonto. But I would lean it more towards Japanese rather than American, because American is always straight. That's an American Tonto. Straight edge, two straight edges. I like them both, but a good harpoon Tonto like this is just gorgeous to me. I freaking love it. But even one like this, man, they just have to be done right. But damn it, isn't the K2 just a damn sexy knife? I know I got some schmuck on the blade. Need to clean it. I don't really use it. No, I don't carry it as much as I'd like. I still have the factory edge on it. This is one where I've kind of preserved it, you know. I freaking love it. I'll carry it every once in a while, and I'll use it, but I use it very lightly. And I bet you want my K2. Thinking about getting the Clipper in 3V, but worried about the corrosion resistance of 3V. Any maintenance tips? Well, wait. Do they have a coated version? I thought they had a coated version. Maybe it's a non-coated version. So yes, 3V is not very corrosion resistant. If you keep it dry, it's fine, man. I got like a few knives in Kizer's 3V, and I haven't had any issues. I'm in Illinois, so depends on where you're at. If you're in, you know, places that are swampy and shit like that and salt water, then you might not want to get it. But personally, for me, just keep it clean, keep it dry, keep it oiled. You're fine. I don't have an issue with 3V rusting. I don't have an issue with many steels rusting. What's my opinion on chisel ground blades? Great. I think most people don't like them just because they look ugly. I think most people don't like that they're asymmetrical, or they're not symmetrical, I should say. So since they're not symmetrical, people think it's ugly. However, when you use it, that's when it comes out, because some chisel grinds, man, they get so unbelievably sharp. And they can cut like a damn champ. So, and then they're easier to sharpen because you're only sharpening one side and then removing the burr. So, yeah, I like them. Is the G10 large waypoint the thicker version, or do they make thick versions in Thai? They don't make thick versions in Thai. So the G10 one, as far as right now goes, it's contoured. So just look for large and contoured. Both of these are the large. This is the contoured large, and this is just the large. That's the way it works. So if you want the large in titanium, this is titanium too, by the way. It's a titanium liner lock. You can see the steel lock bar insert. So this is still titanium. It's just got G10 scales over the liners, and they're thick. Look at how thick these liners are. Like, they're way thicker than this one. Look at this. Look at how thick. Because this is a steel liner with titanium scales. This is a titanium liner with G10 scales. Both of them are good. Like, great. So, what do you think of the launch, the Kershaw Launch 16? It's good. Let me just make sure I'm talking about the right one. Oh, wait. Yeah, it's the Tonto. Yeah, fuck yeah, man. That thing is badass. I love that thing. I think it's awesome. M4 steel, aluminum scales. That thing is dope, man. I love it. I think it's phenomenal. Phenomenal. And I got to say, man, Kershaw does a really damn good job with their launch series. They really do. Like, they, in the past few years with their launch series, they have really, really, really stepped it up. You know, I wasn't giving them enough credit because I was so butthurt about them not doing manual knives. And, you know, I can admit when when I'm butthurt and taking it out on the company, but I've definitely taken it out on them that they aren't doing manual knives. They recently did the Bel Air, which I'm very happy about, and that's awesome. But, you know, they do so much in the launch series, which is all autos. And I do think it would be better for business if they did some manuals. But damn it, do they do a good job with those autos, man. They're rock solid. They're great action, great materials. What's your wait, what is that? Shit hit the fan knife of choice. Shit hit the fan knife choice. It depends. Folding knife, cold steel, the Formax, or my 8010 with titanium original goat scales. It depends on what shit hit the fan. Like, are we talking about like shit hit the fan? I gotta cut zombies' heads off. Because in that case, I might go with the kukri. And lob heads off. Or I might go with the Quichetti. I also got a sword in the other room, a battle-ready sword, but that we're going to be doing a video on, and a sharpening. We're going to sharpen a fucking sword, a katana. I'm going to see how sharp I can get it. But no, I do think a nice, good, heavy-duty work tough gear is awesome. I think this is a great shit hit the fan. But if you're talking folding knife, then we're talking cold steel. It's in the Walking Dead time. Yeah, I think, like I said, I think work tough gear. The kukri. The problem with the kukri, at least mine, it's a little heavy. So, you know, when I think about chopping zombies' heads off for 3 hours at a time, you know, I've swung East Wing hammers my whole life. So, you know, I'm pretty good at it. So I know I could at least last, you know, probably 16 hours chopping heads without, you know, taking a break. But, you know, the weight's going to eventually get to me. And it might be nice to have something a little bit thinner that'll go through those heads. Oops, wrong sheath. That'll go through the heads a little bit easier, because that's thick and robust. That thing will lob some body parts off. But I almost want something thinner and slicier, something I could just pass through domes, you know. I want to go right through skulls. So this will definitely bash a skull. And if you go watch my skull video, I did crush the skull with this thing, and it was pretty gruesome. Blood got all over me. But the Quichetti is, like I said, it's fast. So this is lightweight. It's fast. It's pretty slicey. 154 cm, so it's going to hold a good edge for what it is. I can use two hands, but it works really good with one hand. I can get some distance. But I still think something that's maybe more machete-like, that's also very slicey. Maybe I should design one of those. A real zombie knife, because most people that do zombie knives, they're thick, and I don't think they really think about the intentions of cutting through real things. Because yes, of course you want something that's going to be tough, right? But there's still a level of which you don't want it too thick, right? You want to be able to swing it for a long time, and you want it to pass through materials really well. So going super thick, one, it's going to be heavy, and two, it's not going to go through materials as easily. Yes, it'll be tough. Yes, it'll be able to go through bones, maybe a little bit, or not go through bones, but withstand bone damage. But just do the right geometry where it's thin, yet still, you know, like maybe 20 thousandths behind the edge, even like 22, 23 thousandths behind the edge, but it has a nice broad, slicey blade. So the blade stock is thin, right? But thick enough to hold toughness, but the edge is slightly thick, but where you put a low edge angle on there. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Any KATSU knives to show? No, I got my KATSUs put up, but I do have a new KATSU on the way that looks badass. Badass. Jim, thank you, man. You just gifted 5 Neeves Knives memberships. Shout out to the new members. And thank you, man. I appreciate it, Jim. Make sure you guys have gifts turned on if you want to be able to become members. When people give them away, you have to have the gifts turned on. And then you can win free knives. Like 5 people just won free knives. They got them, well, 4 people, because the 5th person, I got the wrong address. So, yeah, become members. We do 2 lives a month where we do giveaways and live sharpenings. By the way, next week we have a members live. I might do it early because I think it lands on Easter. So I don't want to mess with your guys' holiday. So we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll do it on Friday or something. Okay, it's way later than I thought it was. I just looked at the time for the first time. So, fragrance of the day. So I actually have one that I'm absolutely going to recommend because it's very affordable and it's an absolute beast mode badass fragrance that everybody will like, and I think everybody should get it. But I want to tell you guys about Parfums de Marly Layton. This is a very expensive fragrance. I didn't link it or anything because I don't expect anybody to buy it. It is very expensive. But I figured I'd at least tell you guys the note breakdown just in case if you guys ever want to try it. It is a good fragrance. It's kind of creamy. It has almost like a little bit of like a mintiness or something to it. Let me pull it up in the thing and look at the notes. Parfums de Marly Layton. Man, it does smell good though. The first time I tried it, I wasn't like super impressed, but then I tried it again. And I was like, man, I actually like this stuff a lot. It's like that. Where's it at? There we go. So here's the breakdown. Warm, spicy. I don't know about that. Get rid of the warm, spicy. I don't smell warm, spicy. There's fresh, spicy, but not warm, spicy. So vanilla, fresh, spicy, woody, aromatic, fruity, powdery, lavender, fresh citrus. Yes, all of that. Yes, take away the warm, spicy. There's none of that. It does have vanilla right off the top. You got some woodiness in there. The lavender and powderiness comes off almost a little minty in a way. Let's see. Top notes are apple, lavender, bergamot, mandarin, orange. Middle notes are geranium, violet, jasmine. Base notes are vanilla, cardamom, sandalwood, pepper, patchouli, and guac wood. So the cardamom is probably where they're getting that spicy from, but I don't think it doesn't have much in it. Really good though. This is known, just so you guys know, this is a niche fragrance, meaning like people in the fragrance community love this. This would be like say a Holt or a Shirogorov in the knife community. It'd be kind of like that. So it's something special. It is really good. A lot of guys love it. Like a lot of ladies love it. Kara's not the biggest fan. So, but I do think this might be one you have to kind of warm up to. But it is still they say it's crowd pleasing, meaning like it is mass appealing. I would say it's really, really good, but I think it's a little overpriced. But here is a fragrance that is absolutely not overpriced and is an absolute freaking banger. And I highly, highly, highly recommend this fragrance. You should absolutely get it because it's cheap. I have it linked down in the description. And I think everybody would like it. And that is Mercedes-Benz Move. Wrong side. Mercedes-Benz. Wrong side again. Move. You see how much I have left in my bottle, guys. That should say a lot right there. Look at how much I got left in my bottle. It is a very fresh fragrance. This is an absolute beast mode fragrance. Not only does it like perform as far as like you being able to smell it at distances. It performs in hours too. This thing's a 16+ hour fragrance in my opinion. I sometimes get like 20+ hours out of this. It is like that. And I can get this bottle right here that you see on the screen right there for like 40 bucks. Link down in the description. 40, 50 bucks. That's amazing. So if you look at the note breakdown, we got aromatic, marine, salty, fresh, spicy, citrus, floral, warm, spicy, vanilla, and fresh. That is a great explanation of it. The floral doesn't come off like a girl floral. It comes off as like a sweet, beachy, very fresh summertime, a fresh out of the shower gel kind of manly fragrance with a hint of sweetness. I got it on my chest right now. It's actually, it's sweet, super fresh. Like I said, like kind of like shower gel fresh, a little powdery, not like heavy powdery though. I hate heavy powdery fragrances. The vanilla sweetens it up a little bit too. So it's got like the sweetness with the floral that's like two sweetnesses mixed them together. But the marine and salty is huge in there. So it's more of a summertime fragrance that's a freshie. And you can see right here, people love it. Top notes are apple blossom, grapefruit, cardamom. Middle notes are C notes, salt, geranium. Base notes are tonka bean and balsam fir. Not a lot in there, but damn good. It is a beast mode fragrance. The entire thing, man, it's when you smell it, you'll know because it is a mass appealing, everybody loves it fragrance. I've had many compliments. I've recommended many times. Everybody who gets it absolutely loves it. Everybody who gets it thanks me. And then when we talk about fragrances, they bring it up. Because is anybody in here right now bought the move? Let me know. Let me know what you think about it. I think for summertime fragrances, it's close to unbeatable. There's only a couple fragrances I put head to head with that one. As far as like a summertime fragrance. Now you can pull it off like in the not summertime, but that's where it feels the best. Parfums de Marly has a really good woman's line too. Nice. Got Jazz Club, but don't know if it is a quicker to go nose blind, but feels like it doesn't last too long. Yeah, I think one, I do think you can go nose blind on it, Peter, but it might be one you have to reapply. There's just some fragrances with your skin, or it's just the fragrances. I have heard that from Jazz Club too, that it's not the longest lasting. I think like 6 hours is what you get. So I say just reapply it. It's not so expensive that you can't reapply it. I know it's not super cheap either, but to me, I love the scent so much. I just reapply it, man. Just don't go crazy, after like 4 hours, reapply it. Neeves, any thoughts on the Kizer Veritas and black tie with the blue anno pivot and Kizer Huntsman? I've got both on the way and would love your opinion. I love them both. I think the Huntsman is outrageously good. Amazing action, great build quality. They did a great job all the way around, and it's crazy looking, and I love how it's unique to itself while being outrageous. The Veritas, I got videos on the Veritas. I've spoken very highly about the Veritas. It is an absolute banger, and it is extremely smooth. Great acoustics, great action, great front flipper, great ergonomics, good geometry, literally great across the board. Amazing access to the lock bar. Can't recommend it enough. Phenomenal knife. Is that what you use? You just rub the Christmas trees under your armpits? I've looked at many. Thank you. I will definitely try to get an authentic one. Back when I was looking, I didn't know what the quality was like from over there. Neeves, I read that one. Why is this cut off? Oh, I got a Tops and a live coup seems. I don't know what that means. Damn, Dennis, straight out the black sheet. Not directly under my armpits, just right on the chest, the back, the neck. That's hilarious. Creed Silver Mountain Water is their best fragrance. So I thought it was okay. I wasn't the biggest fan of that one, but to each their own, you know. I do like the Creed Aventus, but I prefer to lean towards the Mancera Cedric Boise, which is very similar to the Aventus. Some say it's a little sharper than the Aventus, and Aventus is more natural smelling, which it makes sense. One's a $400 fragrance, one's a $100 fragrance. But the Mancera, to me, I like that little bit of sharpness. I think it's good, and I think it lasts even longer than Creed Aventus, in my opinion. So I freaking love it. But yeah, guys, try this shit. Circa 2011, Creed Aventus was fire. I didn't get to try it back then, but I'm sure that is one thing. They do evolve. They do change a little bit. Sometimes they evolve the notes, and sometimes sometimes the reason why, I think it's because they find out that the fragrances don't last as long as they would like or something, and maybe they tweak something to make them last longer, because people have them on the shelf for 3, 4, 5 years, and they start they start losing potential. Most fragrances, from my experience, get better with time, as long as it's not an extremely long time, like say 6 months, right? In a 3 to 6 month span, all my fragrances seem to get better in 3 to 6 months. All of Creed's fragrances are great. Yeah, I've tried a few of them. I haven't tried them all. I do like what they do. They're just so expensive. The Parfum de Marly, I've tried a couple of theirs. And they're good too. I got the Leighton on my hand right now. It's good. I do like it. I think that a lot of guys would love this fragrance. It's a very, it almost reminds me of not like a new car smell, but like a new car smell mixed with like a creamy mintiness or something. I don't know. I know it might not sound appealing, but you know how sometimes there's smells that like you almost serenade in, like you like it, like you get in. It's kind of like say if you jump in a car and it's all leather, right? All brand new leather, and you can just smell that leather. There's something great about it, right? Like there's just things like that you can kind of warm you up and make you feel good. And there's some fragrances that are like that, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. I got Versace Dylan Blue. Hell yeah, Mark. How you love it? I knew you'd love it. What next fragrance or two would you recommend? Should I hunt down 1 Million Lucky? Yes, hunt down 1 Million Lucky and get this one. Get Mercedes the Move. That's your next one. You want to definitely get this one for sure, hands down. Don't even question it. This is a banger. And then yes, Lucky, 1 Million Lucky. That's an absolute banger. They're two different fragrances. That would be a sweet gourmand fragrance. This would be a freshie, similar to the Dylan Blue, but it doesn't have the cherry spiciness. This one's just straight fresh. It does have some sweetness though. But yeah, I just sent Marine X. Check this out. I sent Marine X Versace Dylan Blue, Sauvage, Eau de Parfum, or the EDP. What else? Oh, Game Time, which I do think is another must buy. Alexandria Game Time. Absolute amazing. Love my 1 Million Lucky after you recommend. Man, dude, it's fucking fire. It's hard to beat. And that one's like addicting. The problem is they discontinued it. So there's tons of bottles out there around. You can buy it, but it's discontinued. Once they're gone, they're gone. I'm gonna probably buy another 100 ml bottle, because I thought I was gonna be able to make mine last a lot longer than it has, and it's not working out. But another one I sent him Red Tobacco, Mancera Red Tobacco, Game Time. Oh, the Move, sent him some Move, and in Replica, the Jazz Club Replica. So I gave him 2 tobacco fragrances, 2 freshies, well, I guess it'd be a couple sweet freshies, and then a couple blue fragrances. Jared, you gotta try Ganymede. Get a sample because it's expensive but so worth it. I'll write it down. I've never even heard of that. Ganymede. Huh. I'll try it out. We'll see. Well, I guess I'll be buying several bottles because I wear it even when I'm not going anywhere. Me too. I'll wear it at night to bed. I am not exaggerating or joking or anything. I will literally be about to crawl into bed and I'll put that shit on. But yeah, man, that one's an absolute banger. Like everybody loves it because it's a super sweet gourmand fragrance, meaning it's like a sugary sweet fragrance, but in a masculine type of way. It's not like crazy masculine, you know, it's more of like a unisex style, but beautiful fragrance. It's just gorgeous, man. It's easy to wear, tons of compliments. Everybody loves it. But I think it's one you can't go wrong with. Man-made sweet tobacco for cooler weather, 1821, 1820. Oh, yeah, I just got some of that. Are you talking about something I just talked about? I just got some of that for beard oil. I didn't know if they made a fragrance, but I got the sweet tobacco 1821 man from this place in K-Town. But it's for beards. It's beard oil, you know, and hair oil. And I like it. It's a sweet tobacco. It's pretty good. I mixed that with Game Time. Oh, no, wait. Was it Game Time I mixed it? Yeah, I mixed it with Game Time. So I'll put Game Time on my chest, put the sweet tobacco on my face, or you could even mix it with like the red tobacco, something like that. Then you're wearing 2 tobacco fragrances, I guess. Game Time is dangerous. It might get you laid by a stranger on the spot. Yep. Yeah, that's one I've gotten a lot of compliments from. Yes, I have Tuxedo actually right here. It's good. I actually like it. I did not like it as much as I do now, which tells me a lot because there's some fragrances I smell right away and I'm like, oh fuck, I love that. Then there's some I'm like, I don't know, but they quickly grow on me. That's the way this one is. To me, this thing literally smells like a tuxedo at first, but then 10 minutes later, 20 minutes later, this sweet juiciness comes out of it that you don't expect because you smell it and you're like, oh, it kind of smells like a tuxedo shop. But then as time goes on, it just keeps getting, you keep smelling it. And it's like, it got sweeter. Then you smell it a few minutes later, like it got even sweeter. The next thing you know, 20 minutes later, you're like, there's like a juiciness coming out of this. It's good. It's really good. You can see, look at me. I had 2 bottles and the other bottle's gone with the wind, and then this one's almost gone, and that was a week and a half ago, some week ago or something. What? Well, it's probably dead. my battery's been going dead pretty fast. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I love you guys. I appreciate all the love and support. I should have did story time, but we'll save it for next one. Oh, I seen that, Lonnie. I almost picked up a sample of that. The Jean-Paul Gaultier green. I might I think it's called Paradise, the one I was looking at. I don't know. I might try it. I'm not sure. So, all right, guys, thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for all the donations. Make sure you check out the memberships if you want to get involved in live sharpening and giveaways twice a month. Like I said, the next members live is normally going to be Sunday. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday, but we're going to probably do it early on Friday or something. And then look forward to one of the next lives being a vertical live, not a sideways live. And we'll be at the knife, the sharpening booth where we can sharpen, not just sharpen knives, but we can talk knives, work on knives and things like that on a live, you know, do things where, you know, we can, instead of just talking, we can do shit. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.